Did you know that New Smyrna Beach is named the shark bite capital of the world, and there are 5 to 10 shark bites that happen here per year? If you don't know where New Smyrna Beach is located, it's just south of Daytona Beach in Florida. I became intrigued by this topic because I have vacationed at New Smyrna Beach for 18 years now, and I've learned a little bit about this, and I would like to share what I've learned. Today we're going to talk about typical locations where shark bites occur, why New Smyrna Beach specifically, some numbers of how many shark bites happen in New Smyrna Beach per year, and how to avoid being bit. So first we'll talk about typical locations where shark bites occur. One would be where there's a lot of marine life. Sharks are prey animals, so they're gonna be where the fish and other animals are gonna be. The second thing would be where there's human activity, because obviously for a shark bite to occur, there has to be humans in the area. And then the third thing would be warm water. And you might be thinking, why do sharks bite in warm water? Well, that's not necessarily the case. It's just that the humans normally swim in warm water rather than cold, so there's a higher percentage that happen in warm than cold. So now we'll talk about why New Smyrna Beach specifically, why bites happen here. So according to the International Shark File, also known as the ISF, New Smyrna Beach is considered the shark bite capital of the world. So why could this be? One being that there are a bunch of rocky ledges and sandbars in New Smyrna Beach that create big waves. So as you can see, here's a picture. New Smyrna Beach is an island, and the waves are really good here, so it attracts surfers from all over to come to New Smyrna Beach, and so the waters are heavily populated with surfers. Another reason would be this is also an ideal spot for sharks, because like we talked about earlier, sharks are prey animals, and the waves attract fish, which in turn attract sharks. And then the third thing would be that sharks can't see well already, and then the waves created cause the water to be murky, and so then sometimes if a shark sees the surfer's arm or foot or leg hanging off the board, they'll think it's a fish and bite. So when you combine all these things together, a lot of times it'll end in accidental shark bites. So now let's talk some numbers. In New Smyrna Beach, there were 17 shark bites that happened in the year 2021, and that was the last documented year according to the International Shark File. The International Shark File is considered the world's only scientifically documented database for shark research. And the director of this program, his name is Gavin Naylor, and he is a marine biologist that works at the University of Florida, Gainesville, and studies shark research in Florida. But don't be worried, because if you look at the chart, there have actually been 0 fatal shark bites ever recorded in New Smyrna Beach, ever. So now we'll talk about how to avoid getting bit. So there's a few things. One would be to stay with a buddy. Sharks are way more likely to approach you if you're by yourself. So if you stay with people or with one person, they're less likely to approach you. A second thing would be stay close to shore. The sharks swim in deeper water, so the further out in the water you go, the more likely you are to encounter them. And if you do happen to get bit, it's harder to get emergency help if you're super far out into the water. And then the third thing would be to avoid swimming in low light hours. This would be considered sunrise or sunset, because this is when sharks feed and you don't want to run into a shark when it's hungry. And also, like we mentioned earlier, sharks cannot see well, and so during sunrise and sunset, they especially can't see well, and if they bump into you, they might bite you. So to wrap everything up, we discussed about typical locations where shark bites occur, why New Smyrna Beach specifically, how many shark bites happen at New Smyrna Beach per year, and how to avoid getting bit. So hopefully, because of my speech, you learned more about why New Smyrna Beach holds the title Shark Bite Capital of the World.